Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. I'm Dave from Parts and Restoration. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the features on my 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe. If you've been following along with the channel, I've been working on this car for about 6 months now. Most of the time that I've had the car, it's been sitting. I've been working on other projects, but I just got to it and I've got it running now, and I'm learning to drive stick, which is a total mess. Let me take you through the car. Okay, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to be referring to this car as a 1948 P15 Special Deluxe. It was actually built in 1949. It was what's referred to as a first series 1949 model. They were basically finishing off the stock that they had of pre-made parts before they went into the 1949 model year, which had a little bit of different of design features to it. Anyway, but it's they made these from 1946 to 1948 and the beginning of 1949. This is the P15 four-door sedan. It has some very interesting features. As you can see, this particular one has the that line that they refer to as the fastback. Basically, the roof line goes all the way to the bumper. Kind of gives it a nice sleek look. It has rear suicide doors, as everyone seems to enjoy. These are a lot of fun. And just has a very nice, kind of an elegant, classic stance. Although these Plymouths were affordable cars, they were basically a working man's car, family car. With very comfortable interior that was well decorated, well appointed, and they were relatively affordable for the time. I believe this one retailed at $1,600, maybe a little bit less. I'll have to double check on my book. Anyway, beautiful design elements incorporated in this vehicle. I think for our daily modern drivers, I feel like this has some VW Bug sort of looking style lines, I guess, with the fastback. Kind of the big scoop front fenders. Anyhow, let's go on the inside. By the way, I'm probably going to use improper terminology. Some car guys will get upset with me, and that's fine. I am not a mechanic. I'm not just barely even a car guy. I'm just learning this stuff. So when I got the car, the interior was in here and complete, although completely rotted out. So I've removed all of the interior, all of the floor. The headliner's been pulled. I probably scooped out 15 pounds of mouse poop out of this place. And the floor is in really bad shape. It's rotten out along this toe board is one center removable element of this floor. I have a replacement one of them. I'll be patching in new pieces of flooring as I go. Recently purchased a bead roller from Eastwood to make some proper panels for this thing with some strengthening elements incorporated like you see in the original. Just give it a little bit of rigidity. I'll be putting back the old interior to some degree. I have all of the original seats, and those are going to go back in after I reupholster them. Going back to this hatch back here, everything works as it ought to. I've installed a new tank, which I purchased from Mopar Pro. Mike over at Mopar Pro has everything you need to rebuild one of these cars, which is fantastic. I think the company is actually called Vintage American Parts Company, also known as Mopar Pro. Anyway, as you can see, the floor of the trunk is gone. I'll be making a new one of those. It's got these nice ribbed strengthening elements, which I'll be able to replicate with my bead roller. Very excited to give that a shot. I actually recently just got a new welding machine from Eastwood as well. The MP200i, the Eastwood Elite MP200i. Fantastic welder. It's able to let me weld in MIG, TIG, or stick. So I'll be putting that to good use on this project. Here's my friends over here at Mopar Pro, Vintage American Parts Company. Give them a call. Fastest way to get a hold of them. Talk to Mike. He'll help you out with anything you need. Anyway, you can see the floor is just as bad over here. These structural support members that support the floor are in terrible condition. I'm going to have to do some... I'm inspired, go with my inspiration of over at Fitzy's Fabrication. I'll be making some new panels on there. Check out Fitzy's Fabrication on YouTube if you haven't seen them already and you're interested in working sheet metal. The interior, the dash here is in pretty decent shape as far as everything working. The horn works, well, although not at present. It's disconnected, but it does work. All of the gauges work. Fantastic. I'm really excited about that. I've installed a new choke The original throttle control works, which is essentially just mechanically locks the pedal in a sort of a down position, sort of a cruise control of the time, if you will. Glove box opens, still got the original mirror, nice and clean there. The windows are all in great shape, which is shocking. And in the last day or so, I've taken time to adjust the clutch, the brakes, and get the throttle linkage all squared away. This has been a whole project in and of itself. If you ever go to restore an old car and you're an amateur like myself, make sure you buy the parts manual, but more specifically buy the workshop manual, the shop manual, the shop service guide for how to work on these things. It is absolutely worth its weight in gold. So let's have a look here under the hood. And pull that lever out, and up she goes. This hood was in very bad shape when I got it. In terms of it didn't have hinges. It just sat on there. One of the hinges was lost. It came with one hinge, which is no good. You need two, obviously. Purchased those online after a long search. Anyway, let's talk about power. So this is not the original engine. The original engine I had was seized. I beat the heck out of it trying to get it to rotate. I didn't really feel like doing a full-on machinist restoration where I take it to a machine shop and have everything, the head decked and the cylinders bored out. So what I did, I went on Facebook Marketplace, and I found this engine. This is a 1952 Plymouth engine. Still a 218 cubic inch engine, 6-cylinder, straight L head engine, if you will. And I rebuilt that just all by myself. If you check out like right here, I'll put a link to the engine restoration builds. Probably 600,000 or 700,000 people have seen them. You might enjoy that video. Cleaned up the battery box, put a new battery in there. I got new battery cables in. I was lucky that the radiator was in good shape. It's not leaking. So I just kind of flushed that out and got that back in service. I had to rebuild the carburetor, which was not a big deal. It took a little bit of time to get everything squared away, but it all worked out. But anyway, check out the video of that. It explains everything what I did in depth to get this thing running, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So what else have I done to this car? I rebuilt the rear axle, refilled it with all the fluids, just kind of got everything mechanically where it needs to be. That's really all I've done. Obviously, the interior of this car is still shit. So anyway, let's take it for a quick spin around the block. I'm finally getting the hang of shifting this thing, which is awesome. And we'll see what we can do from there. Okay, so how to start one of these old heaps. First, you got to get the battery in on position. And then we're going to pump our gas pedal 4 times to get a little bit of gas in the carburetor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this car's already warm, so I'm not going to use the choke. I'm going to put the clutch in to take some of the pressure off of the powertrain, and then I will start it up. How about that, huh? That ain't bad at all. All right, I'm going to shift into reverse, which is up on the column. Vibration on the damn thing. We're just going to take it around the block real quick and call it a day. All right, here we go. My neighbors like me very much with this feeling. Can't imagine why. Barely drive stick shift, blocking up the road, driving my cell phone in the middle of the street. That's fine. All part of the process. one thing that's kind of lousy right now. I can't get the car to shut off by turning the key, so I'm gonna engage the parking brake. And then if the parking brake is good, which it is, the engine will stall when I take my foot off the clutch. And it'll shut off. Perfect. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It certainly is a pleasure to learn how to drive a stick shift. After restoring the engine and starting the restoration process on this old car, it's kind of fun to actually learn how to use it, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. It's fantastic. This old gal is going to be a lot of fun for me and my boys as they get older. Looking to make it safe for them to ride in and hopefully someday learn to drive themselves. So, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Be sure to share, comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again, guys.